Hello, you guys, it's tea time. Don't look at my bun, by the way. I'm just one of those girls who can't do it. There's just girls who can and girls who look like they have a ball sack on their head. I'm the second one, okay? It's fine. My boyfriend and I went into Savers yesterday and I found the world's tiniest Uno. I love small things. It just makes me, look at how small each card is. What a boost of serotonin. You guys remember that movie, Nim's Island? All I remember, it was a girl that lives on an island. Her name's Nim. I sound like somebody explaining a movie they haven't seen, but I swear I've seen it. Do you guys remember that one lady in the movie? She was like scared to go outside. She doesn't like germs. And I just remember a scene of her and she's like dancing like this. I used to think she was like batshit when I was a kid. And I'm finding that I'm getting more and more like her every day that passes. I need to work on myself. She was terrible. She didn't even want to see another person in the face. She like yelled at the door. She was like, just leave the package on the door. I don't even want to see you. That's like me lately. And I am just so socially awkward. I always have been socially awkward, and I'll tell you what's not helping either is this haircut I just got. Golly Moses, ma'am, because what did you actually just do? She goes, do you want a frame? I said, I usually just go for the straight cut on the bottom. She goes, no, let me give you a frame. Girl, what sort of, I swear to God, I wouldn't frame anything in this. So it's like half of my hair is just at this length, half's at that length. But you know what, baby, you can't mess up something that's already messed up. I'm not gonna act like I'm Jesus with suave conditioning hair. No, my shit's dry, it's brittle, all right? All right, it's not healthy. It's like reverse ombre right now because I dyed it and it's just growing out. It's a mess, it's a hot mess. So I'm not gonna blame her. I'm not gonna get upset. Would I ever yell at somebody to do my hair? No, I don't even yell at people. I can't even yell at anybody. Can't even yell at anybody. I just haven't been getting much social interaction at all lately. And I'm okay with that, but it's making me less social every day. It's making me not want to talk to people even more every day. And that's a slippery slope, girl, because I'm getting real close to being that crazy bitch from Nim's Island. I mean, I have some terror stories. I have reason to be scared of people. I've had some traumatic experiences. I even ran away from a girl one time in a TJ Maxx. There was this girl, actually that's terrible because she had Asperger's Asperger, is that what it's called? She was so sweet. Loved her. The whole town knew her. I went to high school with her, and then also she was just everywhere in town. She knew everybody in town. She would sit at the gym, at the club fitness. She would never work out. She would just sit on the treadmill and stare at the door. And when somebody came in, she'd be like, hey. Every time she saw me in public, she'd say, Danny Bobini. And that was cute. That was fun. Like, I'd be like, hey, whatever. But she was neighbors with my ex. And so she would always bring him up. And some days I just didn't feel like talking about my ex. So anyways, one time I'm browsing in a TJ Maxx. And before I even see her, I hear her say, Danny's here? And I was like, oh shit. I pick up my pace on a little bit. I'm like, you know what? Let me just see if I can escape this. And I start running. All of a sudden, I'm in Maze Runner. She's chasing me down aisles. I can hear her behind me. I'm just about to make it out the front doors. And she like slides in front of me like this. And she was like, Danny Bobini. She was like, why are we running? And I was like, I had to make up something quick. I was like, girl, I had to poop. And she was like, oh, whatever. So I'm walking away. We say bye. I'm walking away. She yells out, you could poop in here. And everybody, of course, you know TJ Maxx has a fat line. You know they did. When do they not? Everybody heard it. Everybody looks over. I just had to be like, not today, thank you, though. And watch my car. You see why I stay indoors now? Do you get it? By the way, I wanted to be known that I fully deserved that. I deserved every bit of that experience for trying. God was like, oh, you want to run away from a girl with disabilities? You're poopy. So let's let everybody know how poopy you are. I deserve that. I just didn't feel like talking about my ex. And you know she asked about him. I just wanted to be known. I don't do that. That was a special occasion. It's always so awkward because I'm not good with small talk. One time I ran into my sister's ex at a Target and I barely even remembered his name. We both turn a corner and we both go, oh my gosh. And actually Lydia was with me for this. I barely remember his name. So I'm just kind of stuttering over my words. I'm like, and all I could remember was that, here goes the tea. All I could remember was that this dude was in the military. So I say, war, how's the war? Lydia falls to the floor on her knees, on her literal knees in the Target, laughing so hard. So I just did such a bad social interaction that it actually made her roll around on the Target floor from laughing so hard. And I didn't blame her because you guys, it was that bad. I didn't even blame her, but how did that help the case? Where do I go from there? Now I got her rolling around on the floor. You know, I'm helping pick her up. I'm like, hey, how's the war? He kind of laughed. He was like, it's fine. I'm, living so-and-so right now, living wherever. And I was like, oh, that's so awesome. And then I just said, well, it's nice. All right, bye. I said, it's nice. Okay, bye. You guys, that is me. And now you see why I hate myself and why I stay indoors. God gave some of us the ability to speak and some of us not. And that's okay, you know? But at this point, let's just go mute, baby. Let's just go full blown. Because I'm done with those experiences. I ran out of my boyfriend's ceramic cup, so I have to use a plastic. Ew, that's so not aesthetic. That's not a vibe at all. I feel like the plastic's gonna melt and I'm gonna ingest it. Not that I've ever cared about what goes in my body. I literally had like 50 Rice Krispies last night in a row. Yeah, 40 for dinner, 10 for dessert. I have come to a grand realization lately, and that is that I'm stupid. I'm just like so unobservant. One time I got into the wrong car and I didn't realize until I'm kicking natty lights around on the floor. And I got out of the car. You guys, it was navy. My car was silver. So what? It was unlocked. That was the only similarities they had. I surprised myself with my stupidity. Another crazy thing, when I was a kid, I saw the presents. My dad had like wrapped Christmas presents and put them on top of the dresser and threw a blanket on top. I went in one day and I was like, hey, what are those? I asked him and he was like, those are for the cousins. Next morning, fast forward 3 hours later, go downstairs, see those exact presents, same shape, same wrapping paper, same pile. Didn't even bother to mix up the pile. And I literally was like, Santa! Santa's here! I like ran upstairs to tell my siblings. I'm a different level. Get this, even when my parents told me about Santa, they sat me down there like, Santa's not real. I sighed, I was like, oh. I tapped him on the shoulder, I said, well, thank God we still have the Easter Bunny and the Leprechaun and the Tooth Fairy. I was like, that dirty liar Santa. I looked that man in the face at Blockbuster. He gave me his number. How dare he? Like, I thought my parents had just saw the news on Channel 5. They were like, we got the guy, you guys. Like, the whole world has been looking for this guy. This guy's been lying, telling the whole world he's a magical creature. I was like, thank God we got that man behind bars. I pat them on the shoulders. I was like, you guys are real ones for telling me this. Like, girl, they're the dirty liars, girl. Come on, girl. Wake up. Like, I'm just in a different world. People will say that finding out about Santa is the worst day of childhood. No, baby, not even close. The worst day is when you're fake asleep in the backseat of the car and dad says, get up and walk yourself inside. You're too heavy for this shit. I'm done with this. Get up. I know you're faking. You just cry. You just crawl out of the car. Talk about a fat walk of shame up to your bedroom. That's the worst day by far. This happened last year. My dad was like, get your post-pubescent ass inside. You're a grown woman. I'm kidding. This did not happen last year. I was stretching it. I was sucking that bitty clean for as many years as I could. I was probably like 12, 13. He was like, come on, girl. You got full tits. Come on now, get inside. I did. They were fully grown. Were they big? No, they still aren't. But they were full. As full as, as full as that can get. What's the letter before A? They need a letter before A for me. Maybe we could throw it back to a Z. Is Z the thing? Like, how far does the alphabet actually get for jugs, for Danny DeVito's? I've heard of G's. Rumor has it, H's. Being a kid was so crazy. I'm like thinking back on old memories. Also, don't look at that wire. I think I just spit, sorry. Don't look at that wire. Yeah, I thought it'd be cute. I tried DIYing tape. It didn't work, obviously. But being a kid was so crazy. Why am I just now remembering that my cousins and we would play school after school. And we took that shit seriously. We had teachers, we had assignments, we had field trips. We'd go out in the back forest, learn about leaves. And it would be whatever somebody learned in school that day, they would just teach the rest of us younger ones. And yeah, school after school, really? That was what y'all could come up with your whole damn imagination? We just did that for 8 hours. We clocked right back in for another shift. We had a chalkboard downstairs and we made the most of it. God, I hate the sound of chalk. I hated that. I hated that game. Another game we played that might be one step even worse than that, we would play a game called Old Times. I guess we saw Little House on the Prairie at Grandma's and just decided to have a field day with it. We would go in the backyard and basically you just had to survive out there. I was not rocking with this game. I'm an AC girl. in my soul. I've never been a camper girl. Also, guys, we have a house. We got a house. It's unlocked. Like, no, we can really go play in my house. My cousins would be like, no, let's play old time. They'd be like, don't walk in that door, Danny. You're not allowed to play if you walk in that door. I'd be like, girl, I don't know what kind of threat you think you're threatening, but I choose the Pringles. I choose the sour cream and onion Pringles every time. Don't try and stand between me and my sour cream and Pringles. But yeah, I'd be like, no, for real, you guys. Like, this feels like a bit of mockery against homelessness. Really? We could play any game. I got Twister in there. You guys just want to play Twister? No, we want to eat grass. They would make grass. They would put grass inside of water, get a pot from inside, and pretend like they had to eat that, except they would really serve it and the younger kids would really eat the grass with water. I'd be like, you can't fool me with that. No, I'm sorry. This is mockery. This is social injustice. I'm going inside. Kids are stupid. Maybe it was just us. Also, we made bands, obviously. I feel like every kid goes through that stage. And we would hold auditions for who got the lead role. Except every year it was just the oldest cousin. She would hold the auditions herself and she was the judge. She'd be like, okay, everybody did amazing. I think this year I'm gonna go with myself. Somebody might be like, hey, that's unfair. And she'd be like, this is Hollywood. That's just the industry. And we didn't know any better. So we would just be like, well, she does make a point there. And we'd all look at each other like, yeah, that is true. That part, because we didn't know. Older kids are just the coolest. So like when you're a kid, it's just like what they say. Them, I go with them. That's just what kids do. That's just like a rite of passage. You have to act that way. We would do dances. If our parents tried to pick us up early, we'd be like, hold on, no, we put on let's sit down, baby, sit down, because we have a whole production. We would think that we could dance our way out of leaving. So it was just us sweating our butts off, doing like some shake it up routine while they stare at us like in silence. We did a lot of dancing as a kid. I actually danced. I danced for 12 years as a kid. And you would think that means I can hold some sort of rhythm now, but I can assure you, I know with confidence that I wasted every dollar my parents put into me dancing in that studio because I suck. I feel terrible. But also, like, they enrolled me in tap and ballet. And it's like, baby, I can't just break out and tap at the bar. You know, where is this gonna lead me? I should have just went straight into hip hop. Audrey and I actually, because I heard about, you know, people started learning about hip hop was the coolest back in like 6th, 7th grade. So Audrey and I'm in 7th grade, Audrey's in 8th grade, and we go up to my dad and we're like, can we do hip hop, Dad? And he was like, sure. So he enrolls us in hip hop. We show up on the first day. Baby, we look around the room. And baby, it's a bunch of babies. It's a bunch of toddlers. Like kids who didn't even go up to our waist. And we're looking around like, oh, are we in the wrong studio? They were like, hip hop 103? And we were like, 1, 2, 3? They didn't know what to do with our grown asses. We were like the stunt women. We like held the kids up during the routines and stuff. You know that scene in Elf where it's like panning along the classroom and it's like a bunch of elves and then all of a sudden it's Will Ferrell's big giant ass can barely fit his thigh in the desk. When I tell you that is exactly the picture painted, that is what I'm talking about. We walked in that first day, we were like, and we went and told our dad, hey, what's the deal? What happened here? And he was like, I don't know, but I already put the deposit down, so no outsies. So we made the most of it. We danced to Too Legit by MC Hammer. Too legit, no quit. That was literally the choreography. You just saw it right there. That was it. Too legit, no quit. Like we didn't even move our body for the chorus, you guys. This was like these kids were just now learning their numbers and letters. Like this was a big deal for them. Too legit. But I kind of put a little shoulder and I was like, too legit, no quit. Like we could, you know what I mean? We were really sweat dripping all over my face. We had a, you guys, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe that actually happened. I can insert a picture. You guys, they had to make custom costumes for Audrey and I, like a kid's XXXXXXXXXL. They had to like custom sew those shits. There's a video of it somewhere out there. Too legit, no quit. I used to think the costumes were like so cool. I felt so hot in it. I was like, yeah, fishnets, baby. I told all my friends, I was like, yeah, hip hop. I hop and hip. They were like, show us your dance routine. I was like, I need to rest my muscle. Coach said, personal trainer said I need to rest my muscle. So, and I did because I was carrying those kids. I was. Guys, look at this little Uno. Let's talk about this again. One of the grandmas afterwards was like, you did a great job teaching these little kids. I was like, thank you. Thank you. I just took full responsibility. Oh my God. I want to take the fat from my nipple and put it right under my eye bags. I just need a little fill. I mean, a little eye bag is fine, but really, like, I had to look like I served in Nam. I look like I've served as president 2 terms for 2 bags. Like, really? You know what I think the perfect future would be for me is like having a podcast with my siblings, because I can shoot the shit. One thing about me, one thing that I can do, I can sit around and talk. I like to talk, and I love talking with my siblings, and my siblings are the best. They're so funny. And Lydia was the funniest of all, you could say, because everybody laughed the most with her. She'd be making fun of herself and of you, but in such a lighthearted way, and like just was always goofing around. She made fun of herself the most. Like she would just like dance funny all of a sudden. All my siblings, man, they're each so funny and so awesome to be around. That's my dream, is just like having a podcast with them and just sitting around and talking, or like writing a show. I know I could write a show with my brothers and Audrey. Oh man, I wish Lydia was here to, you don't get to do that stuff when they leave, like the laughing and joking about things and the dancing. The dancing and the laughing are the 2 things I miss the most, I think. And the hugging. She lived life to the full. She just always wanted to just go on a drive and listen to music and roll the windows down and sing out loud with her friends and put her hands in the air. She always had her hands in the air. She always was dancing through the living room and the kitchen. Oh my God, it's hard not to cry when I think about her, because I just love her so much. So much, it literally makes me cry. I love you so much, Lydia. Oh my God, you're so perfect. I think I'm definitely gonna make a YouTube video where I'll just like talk about her and show pictures and videos of her, because I feel like it's hard for me to like talk about her without, you guys need to see her to know how beautiful she was, because she was, God, she's so beautiful. She is beautiful. Inside as much as the out. And so I could just like show pictures and talk about her, or videos. We were so goofy. She was the goofiest out of all of us. And she would get us to be the most goofy. Like her and Jack would just come in the room sometimes with their sweatshirts like on their legs, and they would just be like hopping around the room. Just out of nowhere, they would just come in. She was the one who initiated the most fun of the siblings. Like just got us all riled up. Anytime you were with her, you're like, what do we do? What do we do? She was one of those friends. Like just so much energy and love. I love her. This tea's cold now. So what now? Now we gotta mic it, really? Tea leaves a crazy taste on my tongue, like, tastes like butt on my tongue. Not that I would know. No, thank you. Nope. Props to you if you do, but feces on the tongue? You're gonna get pink tongue. There's a reason we can't get it in our eye. Speaking of, I asked my, guys, you have to for context, I'm so unserious, so don't take this seriously, okay? If you know me, you know how much I joke around. Anyways, I had a piece of toilet paper hanging off my butt after I went pee that I didn't realize. So I pull it out and I was like laughing about my boyfriend. I was like, look how dirty I am. Because that's obviously a joke you should tell your boyfriend. And I was like, I was getting over a cold at the time. I just got over bronchitis. So I was like, should I use it as a tissue? He was like, you're gonna be the first person ever with pink nose. I am disgusting. I really am. But like when people do that, like how do you not get pink tongue or a pink throat? Should I put on these fake nails? My fingers do look a bit chody when I don't. My fingers and my legs, man, it's genetic. I was just born with it. They're just broady. They're girthy. Parallel lines, really? Parallel? And on my fingers too. But putting on nails is like a lot. And also with the fake ones, there's nothing more embarrassing. Well, there probably is, but something very embarrassing is when your fingernail falls off while you're doing something, especially if like you're out or something. It can be a bit much. I don't like chasing after ping pong balls. I don't like chasing after my nails. I don't like having to bend over in front of a group of people when we were all just talking and be like, oh, sorry, can I get under your foot, my nail? I gotta get my nail. Ew, like, no, I can't. So Obviously, the follow-up question is, well, Danny, why do you buy the box if you don't want to put them on? That's a great question that I've been trying to ask myself. Anytime I see one on sale in like TJ Maxx, I'll be like, oh, I'm definitely putting that in my basket. And then every time I go to put it on, I'm like, but what if one falls off? So then I'm like, well, let me just solve both issues. I just won't leave the house. Bada bing, bada boom, solving issues left and right. And that's how I solve my issues in a toxic way. You ever got bad breath and you're like, you gag at yourself? I did that one time. I'm not gonna lie, when COVID started, I'm walking through a Walgreens and I start gagging and I was like, I leave the store, I take off my mask. I don't know why it just sounded like I had a country accent right there. I was like, I leave the store. I guess a little bit of Missouri slipped out. Sorry. Anyways, I leave the store, I take off my mask, and I was like, it was me. It was me. It was my breath. Because I wasn't used to the mask. It was like one of the first times I've ever put on a mask once COVID started. And turns out my bad breath was circulating in there and obviously going right back up my nose. And it almost had me faint in the Walgreens. You guys don't understand. I was like gripping the shelves. I was like blacking out. Why do I tell these stories public? I didn't even have to make that public. I exaggerate though. I like to pretty up a story, okay? But I was worried about my oxygen levels in that moment. COVID made me very aware of germs and of my bad breath. And I got a handle on it for the most part. But when I drink tea, woo, she's back. She's back to play. I don't want people to think I'm like a bad breath, dirty girl. Because I am, but only sometimes. So don't be like scared to come up to me. I don't know why I just airbended, right? But don't be like scared to... People talk to me sometimes out in public, and back to being socially awkward. I am so like, I love people. I love when they come up to me and I'm like, oh, like I love you so much. Thank you. I love being able to say thank you for following, but that's all I know to say. And I'm always like, ha ha ha, like, that's me. Like, that's so me. You got me. Ah. One time a girl was like, a waitress I had at Red Robin was like, where do I know you from? You look so familiar. And I was like, oh God, like what if I say TikTok? And she's like, it's high school or something. Like how fucking embarrassing. Talk about embarrassing. If I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of famous. And she's like, did we have history together? But I was like, maybe TikTok. And she was like, oh my God, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then we just sat there and I was like, I'll take the cheeseburger. I was like, oh, I love you so much. Chicken tenders, please. But I was like, I sound like such a biatch, but I'm being for real. It makes me like really happy. Like it makes me giddy. I'm like, stop. I blush too hard. I'm like, stop. Don't make me blush. My face is already red, baby. I already got the face, the color of a vagina. So don't stop. I say that like I'm famous. That's only ever happened like maybe 10 times. And we'll stand there and I'll be like, anyways, thank you. And then I'll just have to walk away because I'm like, I don't have a joke off the top of my head. I don't have a story off the top of my head. But I mean, we could sit down and grab a cup of Joe if you're trying to like date. No, I'm just kidding. I have a boyfriend. I'm sorry. Here I am yelling at you. I'm like the worst girl ever. That girl that just yells like, I have a boyfriend. And it's like, bitch, I was not flirting. One time I thought this dude was flirting at me at a window. Turns out he just had a lazy eye that was stuck. I thought he was like staring me down because this is all I saw from the side. I was like, oh, this dude's like checking me out. No, bitch, he has a lazy eye. He has 90-degree vision. That's not even his fault. It was very embarrassing. It was a Cane's drive-thru. What's crazy is I still show my face around there. Often. And he still works there. He's doing good. Eyes as lazy as ever. Contrary to him, he's working those 9-5s. I guess that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Since my tea's up, that's my cue, I guess, to get my bad breath out of here. Brush my teeth. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good week. And I don't know what else to say. I'm socially awkward. Stop. This is what I'm talking about. Anyways, war. Did you fight in the war? Bitch, that's the craziest thing I could have said. All right. Anyways, bye. I need a sign off. I need like a phrase. What's like a, guys, give me a phrase, something to say, like, bam. Sometimes I end a story with, let that be a lesson. I don't know what lesson, but let it be one. Or should I say, chimichanga. Chimichanga. I like that. I think I'm gonna go with that. Chimichanga, big beefy barbecue Arby's. We have the meats. That felt right.